everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. In the last episode, we got some blitties, and in this episode, well, we're going to continue going through Dimble Wood and Goombas. Goombas everywhere. Well, actually, not really everywhere. They're just sort of crammed in a cage. He wants his mom, hopefully in a not, wrong sort of way. Because that'd be a little weird. Apparently, according to Bowser, well, Bowser's basically here, and, they're playing Cram in the Cage. I love that line. Cram in the Cage. It sounds like a very, very uncomfortably awkward game, actually. Not really. But, well, no, yeah, really. It does sound like a really uncomfortable game, but who cares about that? Basically, Goombas don't get chunked. They have to march straight to the enemy's feet. I love the little, jabs of the Goomba in this whole section. But basically, Bowser's castle's been taken over. They've been hit hard. All the troops are defeated. And thus, Bowser will recollect his troops and use them as his special attacks. So while Mario and Luigi get, well, they have a lot more special attacks, and they sort of involve the buttons. Bowser are going to involve the minions, and they're going to actually involve the touchscreen using the minions, as you're going to see when we actually get the Goombas. So Goombas are our first one. I mean, obviously you're going to start with Goombas. That makes kind of sense. They're, they're Goombas. They sort of like the natural starting point, I suppose. Anyway, so we're going to find a way to rescue them. We can't actually proceed without them. You're forced to get the Goombas, because if you try to go up here, as you see, I gotta help those idiot Goombas, blah, 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 plot. Stupid, I don't have to help Goombas, they're Goombas. Since when did you give a shit, Bowser? Come on. Anyways, we're going to be tossing a Wiggler. Plenty of Wigglers in this area. You should keep that in mind because it is going to become important later. There's a reason why there's Wigglers in these woods. Actually, I kind of feel like Mario and Luigi, they always have like the obligatory Wiggler if you think about it. Like there's lots of Wigglers in the Mario and Luigi series. Anyways, we need to actually lift this thing up though, so it's back doing this. Just press B once again to hammer and A to hammer the ones that are red because they're held in Mario. And that's basically how it works. If it hits, if it hits you, actually lose some coins. I don't know if I've demonstrated that yet. So we want to not have that happen because that's usually not a good thing. So just like that, great timing, Lucky. Great way to screw up right when you're mentioning it. But yeah, so you only lose a couple coins. I don't think I only lost 2 coins. Really nothing that special. So in the end, it's not that big of a deal anyway. It's not like you die or anything. It's not like you take damage. I don't think you take damage. That'd be a little weird. But anyway. We have a new enemy over here, which is a giant treasure chest thing that will spit random things out of you. You can get coins from him because he will occasionally spit coins at you, but generally it's just best to just have everything back because if you try to go for the coins, you might accidentally take damage from other things. Being like, if you're too hesitant, it'll just screw you over. But now that we have a new enemy, that also means we have a new Blitty, and once we get 4 Blitties, we're gonna head back to Monsieur Broke and get ourselves a pretty handy item for that. So we'll suck in the Blitty, and we're gonna chew this thing up, and I just love the whole, he just chews on that Blitty. That poor little cat. And I just hit the coin away. Gosh darn it. Oh well, I'm getting smacked in the face with cannonballs. That's just rather unfortunate. But the thing about these treasure chests is, once you do enough damage to them, their lock will open up. You'll actually be given a chance to inhale them to get coins, unless they run away first. They also can run away, so you want to be careful of that. In the meantime, we're just going to use the fire in order to get these trees out of the way, just because they're kind of a nuisance. So generally the fire is really good against these trees. I mean, this is sort of the fire tutorial area. Can I talk, please? And so, the fire is generally pretty useful here. Kind of makes sense. We're in the forest of trees. You'd think they would burn. But after you do enough damage, the lock will come off, and you'll be given a chance to inhale some money, which, if you think about it, is probably not healthy for you. You're eating all the money. Then again, for some reason, I'm not really sure about the logic of this, but the money you get for Bowser and the money you get for Mario and Luigi, they share. Which I guess, considering Bowser's inhaling half the money he gets, I guess that can kind of make sense. That'd explain why random, random cells in his body or whatever those Goombul things are. That'd explain why they drop coins, because, well, I guess if Bowser's inhaling coin, I don't know. Logic is just a silly, silly biscuit. But anyway, we're gonna head back down to Monsieur Broke, get our first prize for the Blitty stuff, and I'll actually be able to explain a little bit better about the whole Blitty system and how that works. Just gotta dodge some Treevils, because that's a really cool name, Treevil. It's corny as shit, but it's really, really kind of funny. Anyways, I love Monsieur Broke. You're not really that far big of a... Oh, I should probably also... I'll show I'll show the scratch cards while I'm doing this too. There we go. Also, the bloody show up in the shop. Before then, we get a block ban. What this is going to do is it's going to increase our defense by an amount of, I don't know. It increases your defense though, but it doesn't increase. It increases it by a percentage of your defense and not by your actual defense stat. So thus, it's better that you have the Judge Shell now because I think it's only like 20% of your defense, so it's not that much of an increase. Put the shell on for now. Keep a shell on because that's your major source of defense. As you can see, the Judge Shell actually is better than the Safety Shell. As you can see, it's a 60 versus 75. So Judge Shell is like 15 points better. So definitely worth going back and getting that just because you get a way better item. And it saves you a good 400 coins, and that's stuff we can use later on. But for the coins, I'm going to actually quickly, I'm going to sell the Shabby Shell, there's no reason to have it. And I'll go ahead and buy a hot drumstick just so I can get some healing, and I want to show up the scratch card system. So once you buy something, you scratch a scratch card, and then if you get a prize, you'll be able to make some of the money back again. And I actually got one. Holy crap! I got what was that? 10%? 10%? 10? Yes, 10. Which is 1 coin. Okay, that's gonna be really helpful. That 1 coin. Oh man, it's gonna save my ass. That's just kind of sad. But we'll quickly use that item and just get our health back. Yeah, probably a good idea because we took so much damage from that treasure chest. I actually don't remember the name. It reminds me of those mimics, those bloody sounds. You can hear those cats everywhere. It's really annoying. Let's go ahead and get our Goomba friends now, though. We've kind of left them in the cage for a while. We've made them suffer. We've made them suffer for a very long time in their cage. So we'll go ahead and free them, get ourselves a special attack. While you have to get attack pieces for Mario and Luigi, Bowser just needs to find his minions somewhere, and they'll be places. They're not horribly hidden. Well, most of them aren't. Although there are a couple special ones like Broggy, which we'll be getting him later as a minion, I guess. I don't know. Block dogs don't really make good minions, but here's the block band. Actually, I'm going to show it off now. 20% defense boost. So as you can see, it doesn't nearly give you as much defense as the shell does at the moment. So if we ever get a second item, the second item slot, which we will eventually when we level up, it's going to be either between the block band or the red hot fangs. 20% fire damage versus 20% defense. I think that the defense is slightly better, so it's probably not a bad idea to do that. But we got Goomba Storm. Operation Goomba Storm. That's a pretty cool name. Goomba Storm. Just sounds like some military operation. Operation Goomba Storm has now commenced. Anyway, Fawful's here because naturally, if we're going to get our first special attack, we're going to have to learn how to use them. So, incoming enemies. Or, well, actually, no, they're going to... Well, incoming enemies, yes. But first, we're going to actually show off the other special attacks we can get. There's Koopas, there's Bob-Ombs, and, of course, there's going to be... hurry up. Shy Guys, and Bowser's getting pissed. Why are there Shy Guys? That seems like a bit of an... Like, Shy Guys are from Mario Land 2 and from, like, Yoshi's Island and stuff like that. I don't really understand... I never really considered them part of Bowser's forces, necessarily. They're more like a Yoshi's enemy. Like, they could have done something else like Hammer Bros. Why not Hammer Bros? Like, they're perfect for this game. Or Dry Bones, or Boos. I don't know if they... do Boos show up? I don't think Boos show up now. So, kind of a bit weird. Anyway, these... are red treevels, or I don't know, actually, they have a different... I call them the red treevels. They have fruit on them, which you can eat, which will bring them back to blue treevels. The red ones actually can do additional damage, and I think additional damage, and they also attack more often. So, best to, I guess, and also the fruit will heal you, so best to inhale them, just so you get a little bit of extra health back, is generally a good idea. Although they aren't that threatening. But we are actually doing a mandatory Goomba explanation. So for the Goomba Storm, what we need to do is the Goombas are going to run from left, well, they're going to charge from the left, like you said, and you have to tap them with the stylus to set them on fire, because that makes sense to set Goombas on fire. That's not painful at all. Fire flowers? No, they never worked on Goombas at all. They're not a very effective weapon. Clearly Goombas are fireproof from past Mario games. No, they aren't. You're killing helpless Goombas. Look at him. He's in pain. Look at that. He's like, oh my god, it hurts. And then he shoots up in the air, which is just kind of weird. And he never comes back down. They will come back down after you're done with the technique. So just keep keeping them fire. Oh, crap. I'm kind of a bit slow. That was a pitiful first attempt. But they'll do 2 damage if they hit, and they'll do 7 damage if you get it right. So obviously you do a lot more damage if you can, get it right. I'll see if I do better in later ones. Hopefully I can do better. But that's actually not to finish that guy off, which is convenient because now I can actually show off inhaling the fruit on this guy and getting the health back from that. And, that way I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, technically. So, more power to me, I suppose. You attack way too much, buddy. You calm down. You calm down. I'm going to eat your fruit, and you can see he's going to turn back to a blue one. He's all sad now. He lost his fruit. Oh, woe be you. And you see he only attacks once now. So we're gonna punch him in the face. Because that's apparently the thing in this face. Just punch in the face. Just Bowser. That's all he does this entire game. He just punches things in their faces. It's just his thing. This entire game is Bowser just pretty much going around punching things in faces. And you know what? I'm okay with this because it's Bowser and punching people in the face is also really fun apparently. You can't get coins in those little bushes if you haven't noticed, I guess. So it's a good idea to roast them when you can and try to get some stuff from that. Of course, roast these big ones because they tend to have items like syrup jars hidden behind them. And there's trees. Go away. Go away. You go away too. No. Well, no. Alright, let's just counter this, and I'm just gonna hit away all the coins like a silly biscuit. I think I've used silly biscuit twice in this episode already. What the heck? Where did that come from? Anyways, I'm just sort of showing this to demonstrate that if you unlock the lock, they can run away, and then you get a whopping 0 EXP. Sad face. Anyway, there's a few ways to go. This one's not going to lead you anywhere. I'm just sort of showing off these extra pathways, but you can't actually go anywhere over here because we don't have the means of going there yet. We will later, but we do not have it yet. So instead, we're going to head. Is there something to the right? Is there? Yeah, there's something to the right over there. What is over there? Well, random battle first. Knowing random battles, we're almost at the next level at least. So that's not a bad thing, I guess. It's a good idea to level up, I suppose. We get a hard ring. Now the thing is, the hard ring has the exact same effect as the block band. So really, the block band is not something you really need to get early on because you can just use the hard ring instead. However, that being said, once you get 3 item slots, they can stack. On the other hand, though, we're not going to be getting 3 item slots for a long time anyway, so by that point you should have 4 bleeds anyway, so really, going and doing the backtrack just for the block band is really not worth it, because you're not going to really use it for a while anyway, and then you also have the hard ring as an alternative if you didn't get it. So, in the end, really not that important. And then, of course, this little douchebag church house runs away again! You coward! Whatever, at least we got experience this time from the Treble. Now, what's in here? Just coins? Cool. At this point, because I didn't have to buy a safety shell, I'm like really, really high on coins right now, and I'm okay with that. That's perfectly fine with me. Save point! Yay! I'm not gonna bother saving. I mean, there's not a boss fight coming up, so there's no reason to save. It's just these clowns. Look at these. Look at this motley bunch. These will be some recurring characters in the game. I forget their names off the top of my head. They have some like really weird names. They're supposed to be like the generals of Bowser's army or something like that. There's Private Goomp. There's we have other names. Do we have other names, please? I don't know, but they look ridiculous. Like there's a neon green Shy Guy, which just looks silly. There's a Koopa that pretty much looks like he's wearing a bucket on his head, and then there's a Goomba who looks like he's like he's one of those Moogle time mages from like Final Fantasy Tactics, which he just looks ridiculous. You look like a clown, sir. So really, these guys do not look very reliable. That's for sure. But they'll once again relay the story about how basically about the kingdom, the castle was taken over, the kingdom was taken over. Yes, well, that probably is technically true too. The Mushroom Kingdom is being taken over by Fawful. Well, starts at Bowser's Castle, I guess. It's his plan. Anyway, so what's going to happen is they brought ourselves a bonsai build cannon, which is pretty awesome. However, there's no ammunition, so kind of a bit awkward for Bowser because, well, we're gonna have to go find one now. However, they do make a really funny reference over here because we've launched we've launched hundreds of them at Mario over the years, so surely, I mean, if you think about it, they've launched like hundreds of bullet bills that are larger than like 2 humans combined, and like they should make crater holes. Like there should be like the whole Mushroom Kingdom should be like a giant war zone riddled with bullets. Like these kind of woods just shouldn't exist. Also, backseat minion manager. Really, really funny phrase. I love that one. But yeah, so Chippy's like, Chippy. I'm gonna call her Chippy now, aren't I? Starlo's like, hey, go look for one yourself. And Bowser's like, fine, whatever. But that's basically what we're gonna have to do. Luckily, we don't have to do backtracking for it. We just have to continue going to the right. So onward to the next area of Dimble Woods. Just a little quick aside. I mean, you're used to these kind of things in Mario and Luigi's stories at this point. Get over here. I'm gonna stomp you. Give you free coins. I'm just gonna punch this thing. Like I'm not even gonna try to get around this one. But the thing I think is that this one, where basically I show this because you can actually inhale coins multiple times if he doesn't die right away. Sometimes he won't die from the coins you inhale. I'm not sure what sort of system this works on, but as you guys are gonna see, we're gonna actually hail a second time and get even more coins. Although it doesn't look like they're anything. They're all 5 points instead. There's no 10 coins in those ones, but that's still a decently high amount of extra coins. I mean, it's like 70 coins right there, which is not bad at all, really. Plus a level up, and we're gonna get power this time, I believe. Yeah, let's go for power. Can we get a good one? Can we get a good one? Can we get a one? Good one? Good one? Maybe. Come on. I'll take a 3. I'll take a 3. That's not bad. I think the best we can get was 4, so extra power. Always a good thing for Bowser. Anyway, we've got to level these Wiggler things. So we need to memorize this pattern, and I believe there's nothing down. I know there's like a path down there you can go to. There's nothing down there we can access yet. I guess I'll show that off later. I didn't really feel like wandering down that pathway quite yet. Because there's nothing there we can do right now. There's not even like coins or items or anything, so it's kind of a completely worthless area. It just reconnects back to that one place where we fought the first treasure chest. But yeah, so we're going to quickly kill this Wiggler. These Wigglers will become more apparent in the next episode, guys, but for now, this is LuckySevenDX signing out. We're just going to watch this Wiggler stomp away. I love the effects, actually, where they have, you can see the footprints when we get back there, or, right here, like now, the grass didn't grow there, so they don't actually put grass there. Instead of the footprints where the Wiggler used to be. I think it's a really cool effect. They put the details in this game, and I like that. So, we'll see you guys next time for more Bowser's Inside Story. We'll figure out what the heck that Wiggler is all about soon. Bye-bye, guys.